Hello and welcome to Laundry Room Studios. You see the laundry basket is empty. You know what that's time for? Another video. Hold the phone. I want to stop this video just for a moment to go and share with you a little screenshot. This seems to be the case for a lot of YouTube channels, that the majority of the videos are watched by people that are not subscribed. Now, for the thousands of people that have watched my videos, I want to say thank you. And to the just over 100 people that have subscribed and hit the notification button, you have exceptional taste. And I appreciate you immensely. What I am going to ask, though, is if you're watching this, it doesn't cost you a dime. Throw me some love, hit the notification button, hit the subscribe button, and let's continue on with the video. Thank you. Oh, we got a couple interesting. Here's a little preview of something that's going to be happening. 6 strings, banjo shape, and then our lovely Grote guitar. Let's go to a new studio. We talked about it previously. Here is Studio B, bonus room. I changed the names up on here. As you can see, we got some colors that we're going to test out. And then here, my very first guitar that I ever owned, Hondo 2. And here is a 1987 Ovation Celebrity. It was my first electric guitar, and it was made out of plywood. Then here is my first real guitar. It was a 1990 Ibanez Gem floral pattern. And then I ended up buying a 12-string Takamine acoustic electric. Really loved that guitar, used it in a lot of shows. And I also ended up buying a classical guitar because I did take classical lessons in college and didn't get very far, but I needed a nice classical guitar. And in college, I also ended up getting a Jackson Kelly Pro. That was my I Want to Be a Rock Star guitar, and loved it. Today, we're going to talk about something a little different. Now, people are talking about the infection rate going up and up and up. You know what? That's true. I absolutely am infected. I have gas. I have guitar acquisition syndrome, and I have it bad. Just the other day, I was up with a little one in the middle of the night. Couldn't sleep. They couldn't sleep. Found myself on Amazon searching and ended up buying a guitar. We'll talk about that in just a moment. But really, the topic is gas. Is there always going to be another one, or do you have enough? And really, it's now down to get down and play, or continue to kind of collect and fiddle around and look for more guitars. What is the answer there? Is it a combination? You tell me. Let's go. Is it, take two, is it that new guitar smell? Is it that new guitar feel? Is it the magical riff or that idea that comes out of nowhere because you're holding something that you've never had before? There is part of those symptoms that are part of the gas symptoms that we experience. And I have been there many times in a brand new guitar store, picking up a guitar I've never touched before and playing something I've never been able to play before. And I feel it's being channeled through that new instrument. And it makes you want to buy it, because then it makes you like, oh, I can do these things with that guitar. And what is that? And so up until recently, either I haven't purchased anything because I didn't want to, or I was spending money on my kids where it really is needed, but wasn't until 1998. Edit, cut. Take two. Now, as my kids have been growing up and becoming a little bit more independent and less needing of every little thing, I've had an opportunity to get back into some of my playing. And 2017, 2018 is when I went to Music Around and picked up my first new guitar. And that was a Epiphone archtop and used that for a couple years for gigging, because that was the new guitar for me, and I could use it in the big band. But then I started seeing on Facebook groups different brands that I've never heard of before. And people were talking about the Firefly guitar in particular. And I saw some videos from people that were posting about that, and it got me very curious. But my thought was, for $150 or so guitar, how can that be even a quality guitar? When I had used to been paying $600, $700, $800 for an average guitar. That would get you a very nice, playable, good guitar. So I was very skeptical. And then I had found somebody locally that was that had purchased something that was selling some Fireflies, and I checked it out, and I wasn't loving the Les Paul Jr. style, because he had taken it apart and tried to modify it and did a poor job. But the other 339 model guitar that he had, I ended up buying. Got a good deal on it, and that was the first kind of that style of guitar I've ever had. And then I ended up reselling that and got a different Firefly 339 guitar. And then in 2019, it was when I was on Amazon for the first time looking for a guitar, and I ended up buying the thin line Firefly Telecaster style guitar. And from there, it kind of took off. It was another year until I bought another one, but then I got an IYV guitar just on the reviews in a whim. Like, you know, this is not gonna break the bank if it's a dud, and if it is a dud, then I'll send it back, because you can, and you can't really easily do that at another guitar store. That they're gonna say sales are kind of final, and then at that point, if you do have something that's not what you want in any way, then you would get store credit, and you would have to be able to go and purchase something else of that equivalent value, and that's also kind of a pain in the ass. So Amazon purchases are just a lot easier from my perspective, and I've purchased a lot of them. And as I mentioned earlier in the video, and that was recorded before, here is the new guitar that I bought in the middle of the night when I was up with my kid. And I love it. It's a fantastic guitar. If I had most of these guitars years ago when I was growing up, and I was putting in all this time and effort into playing guitars that were playing pretty well, but I was fighting them to a degree because of just how they were built and how I'm built on trying to play the guitar. If I would have had some of these, I would have probably advanced technique-wise miles down the road. And I'm hoping to be able to do that now. But it is inspiring. It is exciting. It is everything that you are feeling when you get that new guitar. And the price point doesn't matter. It is this guitar something that you're going to use? Is this a guitar that you're going to want to play? Or was it, in the old days, this was the only guitar that was available to me, and that's what I had to buy, because I lived out in the middle of nowhere and I didn't have a lot of options. So today is a fantastical time with technology being the way it is to be able to build these guitars so economically, but then also they're not only built with a low price point, but they're built so well that it is like buying a high-end guitar. Who cares about resale value? I'm not going to sell this guitar because I know that it has appreciated in value, like it's, you know, some Fender or Gibson or whatever. Because also at that perspective, if there's a guitar that is going to potentially appreciate in value, then I might not want to go and play it, because I don't want to go and wreck it or bang it up. So then it doesn't have value for me. It has value at the point of sale when I sell it to somebody else. And I do have one or two of those guitars that I'm not taking out a whole lot because I don't want to go and potentially mess them up, because I am going to resell them at some point down the road, because those are essentially kind of investment pieces. They weren't initially, but they are now. And so with all these guitars, you don't want to become a collector. Just buy them and play them. So that's my perspective. Tell me your perspective. Are you just buying guitars because they're cheap and you can afford them, and then you have a room full of guitars? Or are you looking for a purpose of those and playing them and having a heck of a time and loving them? So let me know.